You won't believe how these everyday encounters with entitled Karens turned into unforgettable moments of instant karma. What happened next left everyone speechless and proves that sometimes the tables can turn in the most satisfying way. Everyone knows a Karen, the drama magnet, the special treatment shopper, the one who turns a simple errand into a scene. Every so often, somebody answers back on the spot. Redditors shared those clean comebacks, public embarrassment, and instant karma that lands fast and feels just right. Quiet karma can be brutal. One tailgater yelled at a driver, then rear-ended the car ahead at a stop sign. A rude tourist who kept cutting photo lines tripped 10 minutes later and got blamed for being pushy. No fireworks, just tiny payback with perfect timing. Dealing with a Karen? Keep your voice steady. Let staff handle it. Bring in witnesses if things escalate, and set a firm boundary. Public shaming usually backfires. A few calm bystanders, though, can change the whole room and give the target real support. At a long line for a new roller coaster, Who Jaded Inevitable 302 watched a bunch of 16-year-olds cut ahead and complain about the wait. Near the ride, they passed a worker, and he pointed them out. These guys just skipped the line. The worker sent them straight back. Thanksgiving morning, PD Action was home with the kids, breakfast on the table, Macy's Parade on TV. Then the neighbor knocked, furious about white stuff on her car and claiming she'd called police. When officers checked, it was just bird droppings. The accusation fell flat. One summer at a bar, a middle-aged customer kept snapping at the manager. After being told twice she didn't like the tone, the manager finally had enough and banned her attitude from the place. No speech, no debate, just a hard stop right there at the counter. An aunt who had criticized U Soybean Woman's weight since childhood came back after 5 years and asked, "How did you get so fat?" She'd just had a baby. The reply landed clean. "Gee, auntie, you've gotten so old. Has life been hard?" The room went silent. On a short flight from Denver, a Texan family settled into a front row. A local boarded, looked at the mom and said, "You're in my seat." She froze. He wasn't joking either. Around there, people know they row, and they know when someone's trying to take it. A funeral was underway, quiet and heavy, when a woman in flip-flops marched in with a coffee cup and complained that the family was blocking her view of the lake. Private service, she was told. She kept pushing. The whole scene was so cold it barely seemed real. At a restaurant, a woman grabbed another guest's wheelchair and said she'd return it later because her son had hurt his leg in soccer. Staff tried to stop her. She brushed them off and kept insisting it was fine. It wasn't fine. It was theft in plain sight. During a busy bar shift, a woman demanded a drink without showing ID. The bartender said no. She fired back with insults, then flashed her card and bragged, "I work at the White House." The room didn't budge. Rules were rules, even with a loud voice and a fancy title. At a country club snack bar, Ooh Wowza 6969420 was 19 when a golfer cracked a joke that didn't land. The kid smiled, asked what he meant, and let the silence stretch. The man and his buddies had already started laughing at their own punchline. Suddenly, nobody looked so clever. A pizza delivery driver once took an order just a tenth of a mile down the street. The customer came out furious, saying the Russian-owned shop shouldn't send someone with such a long drive for such a tiny run. The irony was doing more work than the delivery. In a pizza shop, an older man was raging because someone parked closer than he did. He kept at it while the other person ignored him. Then the response hit social media, and you, unnamed for valor, watched the whole thing turn into public embarrassment for a man who wanted special parking. At a Walmart McDonald's in the 90s, people would leave half-eaten meals on a table, go shopping, then return and demand free replacements. One Karen tried it with fries. The scam collapsed fast. A clean table doesn't mean a fresh order, and the staff knew it. Inside a New York bodega, a woman fought with the clerk over a pint of ice cream priced at $5. She swore another store charged $4.50 and held up the line to prove it. After several minutes, you/Dr. Cornel West watched the argument go nowhere. The price stayed the price. While checking groceries, Cartographer Key 7322 had a woman micromanaging every scan and bag. Finally came the line, "If you want my job, applications are open." Her husband laughed. She snapped, "What did you say?" And the whole lane suddenly felt a lot less friendly. In Houston, a boss noticed an admin crying at her desk over a box of carefully sorted health insurance bills for her sick husband. She'd been fighting the insurance company for help. The boss told her not to worry, then took the whole stack and handled it himself. At a Walmart stop sign, xenomorphs waited for traffic and let a car pass before turning right. The woman behind her started laying on the horn, furious at the delay. Then, as she tried to go around, she clipped the car ahead. Patience won, and the honking stopped. Customer service teaches one lesson fast. Some people want rules bent just for them. U/Jones the Dead says they hear it on repeat. Fire you, give me free stuff, make an exception. The answer stays the same. If one person gets special treatment, everybody gets to ask. On her first day at work, My Earthsuit 89 got shouted at by a Karen who claimed they were just standing around while training was happening. Two nearby customers jumped in and backed the new employee. The noise changed fast when the room stopped being on the Karen side. At an outdoor sand volleyball court, kids were playing when a staffer stormed over and ripped into them for using a paid rental space. The place sat near parks, so it wasn't obvious. The kids stayed polite and started leaving, while the worker kept needling them. Ublob was at a children's theme park with sister and grandma, then stopped for snacks in the cafe. They were talking normally in a loud room when a woman behind them started yelling for quiet. In a place full of kids, the complaint was almost comic. About 18 years ago, a middle-aged soccer mom came into a store demanding a specific brand of tire and tube for her son's bike. They didn't have it. She called the clerk useless and kept going, as if inventory itself had personally offended her. At Monet's House and Gardens in France, euphoric afternoon 6 waited 15 minutes for the perfect family photo. Just as it was their turn, a Karen from another tour walked straight in and started taking over the shot. She was rude, abrupt, and completely unconcerned. Downstairs neighbors at Fun Garbage 3648's old apartment banged on the ceiling for every footstep, even on New Year's Eve with one friend over at 10:30 p.m. They complained to the landlord. She sided with the apartment above, and the constant pounding finally lost its power. These aren't giant court cases. They're small moments that make daily life bearable. A manager backing staff, like at Sweet Dream 515's bar, or strangers stepping in when someone is pushed too far. Tiny interventions don't look dramatic, but they matter every single time. Again and again, the pattern is simple. People nearby refuse to look away. A barista speaks up. Customers push back. A worker reports line cutters at the coaster. Those quick interventions shift the whole mood and remind everyone that bad behavior doesn't get a free pass. The takeaway is plain. Small corrections work. A barista's warning, a manager's support, a stranger calling out nonsense. Those moments don't make headlines, but they keep everyday life livable. Quiet justice, delivered fast, can change the whole day. People making a stand changes the scene. The coaster worker who sent line cutters back, the customers who shamed the loud complainer, the stranger who spoke up on a plane. Each one shifted the balance in seconds. Simple moves, real impact. That's how bystanders make a difference.